Okay, everyone, welcome back. Good afternoon, good morning, good night. I don't know wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the, what we're on the fourth session now. It has to be the fourth session because we had the startup, we had the first one with Matt, and then we had the live CrossFit, and now we're in the fourth session. And as you see, we've moved into the Sundbyberg Curling Club. The only thing older in this curling club at the moment than me is the actual curling club. It was built in 1974. So it's a lovely little 4-sheet club that we call home. Windows overlooking a wee lake. No ice yet. We get the ice coming in soon. So that's going to be great. It's a beautiful little club. Had lots of good curlers coming through the doors here. Now, this session, the fourth session, it's a historic session because we're joined by some historical people. Now, these 4 people that are joining us today, they were the first people to win Olympic medals at the new discipline, mixed doubles. That makes them historical. And now today they're making history again by being part of a webinar where we have the whole Olympic podium. And I'm not sure that's ever been done before. You normally get the one or two medalists, but not everyone from all different countries. So we're very excited today. So let me just present everyone here. We've got the bronze medalist from Norway. We've got Kristin Skaslien, and we've got Magnus Nedregotten. From Switzerland, we've got Martin Rios, and from Canada, we've got Kaitlyn Lawes. So guys, if you're there, please put your videos on and get your mics on so we can all see you. There we go. Martin's in, and Kristin's in, and Kaitlyn's in, and Magnus. We're all like, yay! We're all here.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Good morning from Canada.
What time is it with you, Kaitlyn?
It's 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay.
Yes.
Are you a morning person or are you a night person?
A little bit of both, I guess you could say. This was the good time for me. I didn't have to wake up too early.
Oh, that's perfect.
But actually, I've been up trying to watch some of the Olympics, so it's I've got it on in the background. Our Canadian beach volleyball team is trying to beat Australia to make it to the semifinals, and they're #1 ranked in the world right now. So I might be a little distracted for like 1 more minute.
And we've got a big game coming up on Friday. We've got Sweden against Canada in the women's soccer final.
I know. Yeah, bring it on.
Be good. And then Switzerland's won the tennis, amongst other things, Martin. That was a huge result for your Swiss lady there.
Yeah, she medaled gold and the silver in doubles, so
she
did pretty okay.
She must be exhausted, like the kids at the live CrossFit today.
Yeah, probably.
Hard work. And Kristin and Magnus, we were talking about your sprinter there that won the 400 hurdles.
Yeah, that was amazing. We set our clock on. It was like 5 a.m. in the morning, and we had to get up and watch him, and it was totally worth to get up early to see that.
It's funny actually you say that. I remember watching the final of the ladies, the curling in Pyeongchang when Anna and the girls won, and we woke the kids up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we all sat there watching, and they were kind of half falling asleep. But it's a good thing to do. Get up and watch in the middle of the night. It's cool. And Kristin, you were at the dentist this morning. How did it go?
Yes, a little less wise. I got one of my wisdom tooth removed, but otherwise I'm good. It went pretty well, so I'm good.
Oh wow, well done, well done. So thank you very much, the 4 of you, for taking your time and being here and being with us all today. It's a very exciting session to be able to do with the whole podium from the Olympics. That's quite unique and very cool. I want to start off just with a couple of quick questions here. Kaitlyn, Sochi or Pyeongchang?
You can't choose. Both were such amazing experiences and very different experiences in their own unique way. So yeah, you can't make me choose between the two of them.
Okay, I'll let you off with that one.
Yeah.
Martin, mixed doubles or 4-player?
Mixed doubles, of course.
There we go. He's the big specialist on mixed doubles. Magnus, Olympic gold or 5 worlds?
Olympic gold.
Olympic gold, there we go. Kristin, dentist or doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor, okay.
Or, I don't know.
So obviously it's not great. I'm not a big fan of the dentist, so I agree with you on that one. So you guys, the session today, around about sort of 45 minutes, we'll just have a chat and we'll discuss some stuff, and I'll throw some questions at you, and you guys can discuss between yourselves if you want. And then at the end, we'll open up for a question and answer for the others, if that's okay for you all.
Sounds good.
Excellent. And as usual, for everyone that's listening out there, get your questions ready, put them onto the chat, and P Daddy, he'll be moderating the chat group and get everyone ready for the questions later on. So Kaitlyn, let's start with you. Double Olympic gold, and you made history yourself, being back-to-back golds and winning the ladies in Sochi, and then the mixed doubles gold in Pyeongchang. Can you describe the sort of difference, the feeling between the two Olympics that you experienced?
I can. So Sochi, I joined the Jennifer Jones team in 2010. It was a 4-year Olympic plan. Our goal was we wanted to get to the Olympics and we wanted to win a gold medal. And lofty goal, but we had 4 years to try and plan for it. And every year we set different goals for ourselves leading up to it. It was a bit of a roller coaster. Lots of different things were thrown at us, but every challenge that was thrown at us, we turned them into opportunities, and it just made us better. We learned from it. And honestly, the way it came together at those Olympics was so special. We felt so prepared. We just went into it knowing we've done the work, and we just wanted to have fun. So we enjoyed every moment we were there. We got to slide over the Olympic rings, and we just kept saying, like, wow, this is so special. We never knew if we'd get a chance to go back. So we appreciated that and sharing it with the team that we had created. Our team dynamics were so strong, and I'd say that's what won us that Olympic medal, was our team dynamics. And I mean, and Jennifer was on fire. She was insane. I've never seen someone make so many shots. So that was really fun to witness, just holding the broom for her and calling line. And so being on top of that podium was a rush of emotions, being able to just look back and know that, you know, everything we went through together as a team was so amazing. Pyeongchang, we had goals originally of trying to repeat. Our team had decided to stay together. We wanted to get back to the Olympics. No one from Canada had gone back to back before. So when we lost out in our Olympic trials, we got third. We lost in the semifinals. It was heartbreaking to not have that chance to get back. And we had a really short time to try and regroup. And it was because I think it was maybe 3 weeks after 4-person Olympic trials was the mixed doubles trials. And because I actually hadn't qualified for them, but Canada wasn't allowing the men's and women's teams to also represent in the mixed doubles. So Rachel is originally partnered with John Morris, and she won the women's team trials. So he needed a partner, and we had talked beforehand. He had said, if Rachel happens to win, will you play with me? And I was like, absolutely. It's a no-brainer. I'd played with him before at the Continental Cup in mixed doubles, at least 2 or 3 times. So not that much experience together, but I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. And our Olympic trials was probably the hardest, the hardest competition I've ever had to play in. We played 14 games in, I think, 5 days. And it was mentally exhausting, total roller coaster of emotions, trying to figure things out as a new team, but also keep our goal in sight. And I think that craziness of those trials prepared us so well for the Olympics. And yes, my goal going into Pyeongchang was to bring home a medal for Canada, but because it was the first ever mixed doubles, my ultimate goal was to showcase our great sport. I really wanted, especially the Canadian fans, to see how much fun the mixed doubles game is, because I think there was a lot of skeptical fans before the game started. And I really just wanted to show that this is a fun game. It's a fast-paced, very athletic game, and that, you know, more people around the world are playing it. So I really wanted them to really see our love of the sport. And I think we accomplished that, because when we came home, we had so much positive feedback, and everyone kept saying, where's the mixed doubles? As soon as the men's and women's curling started, they missed the mixed doubles. And so it was very special. Again, just totally different experiences, as it wasn't a 4-year plan for me, but sometimes plans change and you kind of just have to go with it.
Well, we're going to touch on that a little bit later on as well about how mixed doubles perceived in Canada. Martin, I wanted to just ask you a little bit. You're like the main mixed doubles specialist in this group, perhaps. You've been playing mixed doubles for a long time, probably since right back at the start of mixed doubles. Would you agree on that? When did you start playing mixed doubles?
Well, back in the days with the old rules, there was no. I think mixed doubles started in 07, 08 with the Worlds, and back then it was just there was no Swiss championships, but the mixed champion was asked to put a team together, and because we were mixed champions, we were selected to play the mixed doubles Worlds, I guess, in Turkey, Erzurum. It was 2012. Still with the old rules, and the year after again, first time I played Norway, and as most of the times they kicked our butts.
And how obviously you've seen this development then right back from the start, the first championship with the mixed doubles, all the way through to where we are now. What would you say is the biggest difference with the mixed doubles from the start to where we are now?
Well, with the old rules, the first shot was crucial. So if you made this freeze, the other team was already in big trouble. And with the change of the rules, it became more spectacular, I guess, and even more interesting, because now the situations are even a little more different. You start more or less always the same in the middle, but it's really, I say you really got to go for it. You can try, but it's hard to defend and to play defensive. And even the power play, it added something to the game to make it more attractive to people.
And how was your, just if you can sort of summarize briefly, how was your experience with the Olympics, getting to the Olympics and then obviously winning an Olympic silver?
Well, it's always been my dream, and I tried to chase this dream with like a traditional curling team, and we split up, I'd say in 2011, and I'm a 100 or 0 guy, so if I have my goals, I go 100% for it, or I prefer to just play a little bit of curling, have fun, and go for a couple of drinks with my team. And then we started with Jenny to play Swiss mixed double championships, and I think it was the year after it was announced that it'll be at the Olympics in Pyeongchang. So we decided to go for it. We had some struggles, but in the end we made it somehow just to the Olympics, and it was a great experience. And I must say, especially among the people who are not curling mixed doubles, we got really good feedback. They really liked it, and a lot of them, at least, I don't know if they want to just be nice to me, but everybody told me it was a lot more interesting than the traditional curling, because it was so fast, it changed so fast, and for the people here, it was great. The schedule was great because they could watch the games during their break at noon, so that was perfect for mixed doubles.
Cool. Magnus and Kristin, you guys had obviously being at the Olympics for the first time for you as well, very special, all the stuff around about that, but your journey to the medal was a little bit special. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Will you start, Magnus?
Yeah,
We're
sure.
sitting in the same room, but we have our yeah. Oh no, it's an echo here, so I should probably.
Yeah, no. So you'll have to refer to us one at a time, I think, because we have an echo. But yeah, our trip to Pyeongchang, that was well, first of all, a dream come true, of course, after a couple of years with hard work, and it got a little bit more interesting than we thought in advance. Started off really great. We managed to beat, Kaitlyn and John Morris in the first game. That was a very big thing for us, and we played well the whole week. We didn't quite managed to stick to that top level during the whole time. We weren't as mentally strong, I think, back then as we maybe are today, hopefully. But it ended up with going to the semis against Kaitlyn and John again, and that one we lost. So we also lost a bronze medal game against Russia after quite a good game. So we haven't really won any bronze. We just got it because they got taken for using some illegal substances. So it didn't really feel like a win back then, but I think we have, after a while, maybe understood that our, what we managed down there was quite good after all. And it made us even more eager to come back to that stage and actually win the last game. So yeah, what happened, we flew back, had a 4th place. A couple of days later, we got a call from the International Olympic Committee telling us that the Russian athletes had done a positive doping test. And we asked what happens now. They said, well, we're trying to get you back here so you can get your medals during these Olympics, which has never happened before. So it's very, very strange. So these other guys that are here today, they haven't been on the podium with us, that's for sure. They have been on the podium with some other guys. Hope maybe next time we can stand on the podium together. That would be awesome.
Well, at least you're all here together. We'll get a picture of you all together here, which is nice.
Yeah. Kristin, do you have anything to add?
How did you, Kristin, what were your feelings when you got that phone call? Because that must have been a really strange phone call to get.
Well, I actually first saw it in the Norwegian newspaper online, and I just had to read it 3 times to actually realize that he was caught in using illegal substances. So, and then we were asked to come back, but then we should hold on a bit because we have to get some lawyers over from Switzerland, and it all took some time. So we were just on hold for a couple of days, back and forth. So are we able to go back, or is it too late? And but then suddenly the message came that our flight was booked, and we got to go back. And a little bit strange to be on the podium, no one on 1st and 2nd place. But no, it was a dream come true for sure. It was amazing.
That's cool. So my first question that I'm going to throw out to all 4 of you, and I'm going to throw it right in the middle of you, and you guys can fight for who wants to answer first. How do you train for mixed doubles? I get this question quite a lot from different people. How do you train for mixed doubles? Does it differ from 4-player team, 4-person curling, or is it the same kind of thing, or do you do different stuff? Do you train differently on the off season? So who wants to go on that one?
Do you raise your hand?
Go on then, Magnus. You wanted to go.
All right. No, I mean, we do much of the same, but of course, you specialize for MD in the way that you simulate game situation that is relevant to mixed doubles a lot. That's the biggest difference between MD and 4-player game. And then there's another thing: you are only 2 people out on the sheet at the same time, which on the one hand makes you a little bit more vulnerable. You don't get the chance to kind of hide your emotions. You need to be a very fine-tuned machinery together in order to make it work. So at least I feel that me and Kristin, we have been working a lot more on the relation, the mental game. We got married. That was a nice thing. And we had a mental coach that is helping us a lot more and on a different level than in 4-player game. So we use a lot of time on communication, going through all scenarios in a more thorough way than in the 4-player game. And one of the reasons for that is that you maybe have a little bit more, you know a little bit more of how the game is going to look like in mixed double maybe, so you can prepare a bit more for start of ends, what you do in different on different ice conditions, stuff like that, and yeah.
Kaitlyn, you're obviously playing a lot of 4-player, or mainly 4-player, with a touch of mixed doubles. When you jump over to the mixed doubles, do you find it difficult to, or does it take some time to get into the pace of the game, or can you train that before you go into mixed doubles?
Honestly, I don't notice that part of it. I do find that my training for mixed doubles helps my 4-person game, and I feel like my 4-person game, the mental side really helps my mixed doubles. So there's a lot of balance that you can take from back and forth. But yeah, my training for the mixed doubles is very similar to the 4-person game, like Magnus said. But I find with my individual practices, I'm sweeping a lot more rocks. I'm setting a lot more mixed doubles scenarios up, and I'm just trying to get into that rhythm of, chasing after your own rocks. And then again, a lot of similarities. The biggest thing for John and I was, because even though we were a new team, we had to be completely open and honest about our communication. And I told him, same thing I said to you guys about in Sochi, our team dynamics won us the Olympics. So I said, if we want to have a chance at being successful, we need to have open and honest communication. I need to know what you need from me, and I need to let you know what I need from him. And so we had a lot of raw, vulnerable conversations, and we weren't going to sugarcoat anything. We just had to lay it all out there, and that really helped our dynamic when we were competing. And I felt like we were very supportive of each other in those tough situations.
And those discussions, I mean, yeah, like you have a 4-person team, like we talked about, and you're normally working, especially for you guys in Canada, you're working with your 4-player team mainly. Is that tough to have those conversations? Because it's going to go one of two ways if you have to have those open, vulnerable discussions, and it's quite short time to turn it around.
It can be challenging, but if we have goals at the end of this that we want to accomplish, this is something that has to happen. And at the end of the day, we're not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. We are trying to be as supportive as we can. But I mean, this summer we've had a lot of these discussions with our team, which has been exciting because it re-energizes us, and you feel a little bit more connected with your teammates if you know what they need. And it can change over the course of a season, it can change over the course of a competition, and just constantly re-evaluating how you're feeling, what your teammates need from you is very important.
Now, Martin, like we touched on at the start, you're more of the specialist mixed doubles, where everyone else has played a lot more team, I think, up until this point. How much like 4-player curling are you playing, or how much do you play during a season?
Well, last season was pretty special, so not a lot, but during normal season, we play a couple of traditional curling events, let's say between 3 and 5 events, something like that, just because I think you got to throw rocks at the boom, so that's more or less the same. And I really enjoy the traditional curling too. I'm not the guy who says only mixed doubles counts. There's just 2 different disciplines, and both of them are interesting. At the beginning, I really missed the team part, playing mixed doubles. I think, like the other 2 said, for me, it's a challenge. If there are 2 options or 2 ideas, that you're only 2 people on the ice, and there's no third idea, or probably it's a 3 against 1 solution, something like that. So it's you and the other idea, and you've got to find a way to find that. Probably the good solution. It's not always the right solution, but at that moment should be the solution for your team. And this, let's say, for me, that's it's challenging, especially with Jenny.
And talking about that, Martin, do you talk, like, do you train that as well? Do you train the mental parts? Do you talk about the whole process of how you come to decisions? Because, like you say, it's difficult. It's more like a marriage or a partnership.
Let's say we try to train it. We really try. We're not improving that fast as Magnus and Kristin. they improved a lot, I guess. But it's still now it's fun to watch mixed doubles team, and you really can see whether they are couples or not, or married or not, whatever. That's for me, that's fun to watch.
Me too.
Let's ask Kristin about this, because now we've got a married couple with us here. So you guys have been together a long time, and you played mixed doubles together. And
Yes.
now, obviously, when it's all going well, as we all know, that's easy. But when you've had a bad weekend or a bad loss, or there's some issues, how do you guys work that out? Because when you go home, you're home together too.
Well, we try to, when we go on the ice, we try to leave stuff that happens at home, and otherwise, or the other way around. When we are at home, we try to not speak about curling, even though there is a lot of curling talk. But how we manage to get over it. No, we just go back and practice, and then focus on things we need to improve, and talk about things during the event that we should have done better or handled, that we can handle different next time. So, but it's both an advantage and a disadvantage to be married and play together in a mixed doubles team, that's for sure.
Sure. And this is Matt talked about this yesterday with his team, that it was very important to have the communication, and all the 4 players on that Olympic team are very different from each other. Is it important to have your polar opposite to play mixed doubles with, or is it more of a benefit to have someone that thinks similar? What would you say about that?
Well, sometimes yes, sometimes maybe no. Sometimes it's good to have different opinions, but then it's about, do you have enough time to talk it through and discuss it properly? But I think sometimes it's good to have different opinions, but you can't have different opinions all the time, because then you will run out of time and lose the game.
Would you say, Magnus, would you say that there's more time pressure on mixed doubles than there is on 4-player curling?
Yes, definitely. I think.
Sorry, Kristin, that question to Magnus, I don't want to get him annoyed.
Oh, that was. Sorry, Magnus.
And now I just wanted to add to Kristin first, because that's something that some of these young curlers can take with them as well. Because you asked how we. What we do when we perform bad, how to get on, and actually when we're playing important tournaments, we have a totally structured routine of a debrief. So we go through just a hot wash first, where we allow all our feelings. Doesn't say anything about what caused those feelings. We just say what our feelings are, and let it go 15 minutes, and then we go through some questions, some internal for your own evaluation, and then for the whole team. And we don't do anything more than that the first hour, and after that, then some of the emotions are probably a little bit not that far up on the surface. And on the time pressure, yeah, of course, it's a lot more time pressure on mixed doubles. So again, it's good to have a plan for who is taking the decision on which shot to make, who is going to get the word first, kind of in a discussion, stuff like that. Just structurize a little bit on how to make that process as smooth as possible. We have talked about that for many years. It's still not very smooth, but it's going better and better, I think.
How do you find that, Kaitlyn, when you play with John? And
that's a good question. I do not like being tight on time. I get very anxious, and John has, how do I put this nicely? He likes to talk a lot, and he'll talk through every single scenario and every single situation. And so I had to put kind of a stop to that really fast. That was one of our team dynamic things we had to work out. I said, I don't perform well when we're rushing. And so I just said, at the end of the day, on my shots, I need to have the last say. So I need to be comfortable with what I'm throwing. your opinion might be the right shot, but if I'm not feeling it, then I'm going to make the one, more likely going to make the one that I want to play. So that kind of helped some of the discussions go down a little bit, and we saved some time that way. So yeah, I had to address that. Even with our women's team, I am the one who watches the time clock, and I try and keep the pace. I feel like we always play better when we're playing with a faster pace anyways, and not overanalyzing things in the moment. So I just try and keep an eye on it to keep us on track.
And what about you, Martin? How do you the whole idea of you're in a time pressure situation? How do you figure? How do you do that? How do you make the decision at the end?
Well, our plan is to save a little bit of time, especially for the last four ends, not to get into a rush, and we're practicing this too. So with playing games with even less time that usually, so that we learn how to make quick decisions, and sometimes it's just like Jenny is standing in the house, so she's calling the game, and I'm just throwing, and the other way around. But I especially think that you can save a lot of time during playing the first shot. It's 80% same shot, so there you can save a lot of time if nobody's standing in the house, and probably with the second one too. That's how we try to learn to handle this. So just learning how to play a game with even less time than usual.
So now we're talking about time pressure, and we're talking about and a lot of the people listening here won't have played with time clocks before. Maybe some have. What would you say were your best tips? Four of you, we can start with you, Kaitlyn. What would you say were your best tips would be for saving time, regardless if it's 4-player or mixed doubles?
The biggest thing would be, being ready in the hack for the 4-person game, especially when the other team is throwing their shot, have delivered their stone, get in the hack right away, and try and figure out what you think the next shot's going to be. So you're already thinking couple shots ahead, and that way you are prepared and not just having a conversation with your teammates afterwards. So you can save time that way. In mixed doubles, again, because it's so fast paced and things can change so quickly, that's not necessarily as easy to do. But I think having a lot of conversations off the ice about what your ideal game plan is, then.
Oh, sorry, someone's got the microphone on here. Can someone?
There we go.
Italian. There we go.
Yeah.
I think it was Italian.
Sorry, I was getting a little distracted with that. But yeah, having a lot of those conversations off the ice and where you can make up some time. And again, just trying to be as ready as possible. And like Martin said, sometimes just letting the person who's in the house call the shots can save a lot of time as well.
Kristin, have you got anything to add to that?
Not much. Just when we practice on different scenarios, and then we kind of agree what we do in different situations. So that would help us save time when we play a game with timing.
Okay, so Kaitlyn's been touching on what you can practically do when you're actually on the ice. You get into the hack quick, think of the shots, and you guys and you're thinking, Kristin, also when they're training, you get the scenarios, so you have a good game plan. Magnus, what do you have to add to that?
The first that came to my mind was just make your shots. Then you have a lot less to think about. And secondly, I would say, well, I don't know. There's we often speak about the importance of the beginning of the game. I heard Martin said that you want to have some more time left on the 4 last ends. We often say that if the ice conditions are hard, the first couple of ends are so important and they are harder to read. So in some cases, we actually speculate on using a little bit more time in the first couple of ends. Not directly relevant to your question, maybe, but yeah.
Oh, definitely relevant. It's all about saving time at the end of the day, so you don't get stressed towards the end of the game, I think. And Martin, you're last. You. It's a tough one here. Everyone sort of said stuff. What do you think?
Well, playing a 4-person game, I think it's up to the front end to save enough time that you have enough time to discuss the back end shots, especially in difficult situations. And I agree with the other. Just that's a good idea to make the shots. And you practice so you play so many games, so a lot of situations. You have already seen a lot of situations, so probably this helps you to find a quicker decision, and that's how we're trying to do it. And hopefully you're leading the game, and so the other team has to hurry up a little bit.
And all 4 of you have been very successful in leading a lot of games, so you're obviously saving time there. Martin, I'll start with you this time, to be fair. In terms of conditioning, I'm thinking like it's a really fast-moving sport. And I played a little bit of mixed doubles, and for me it was almost like the game was over before it started. It sometimes felt like you didn't get into it. How can you get yourself into it? Is there any way of getting into the game, like mentally, before you actually start? Because for me it just feels like it goes so quick. It's like a 6-end game of skins almost.
I don't feel the same. I really enjoyed from the start, and I'm a guy, when I started first, then I'm really into the game. I always want to win. I always want to make my shots, and to me it doesn't really feel that it's over so fast. Sometimes I'm really hoping that we can finish off the game earlier, but probably it's because I'm a little more used to mixed doubles than you, but I don't feel that it's so fast or so quickly done.
Magnus, what do you think about that? You've switched between, the last few seasons you've played both 4-player and mixed doubles. How do you feel about the pace of the game?
Yeah, the pace, I love it. I love to have to make quick decisions based on my gut, and that gut is hopefully tuned a little bit of my experience. So about how to get ready for a game, you said it was very, very, very short, and you feel that you're not getting into it before it's done. And a good warm-up, speak to your co-player, maybe try to visualize a little bit what is going to happen in the next few hours, and then you'll feel ready, I hope.
Cool. I want to move on a little bit and talk a little bit about the status of mixed doubles, where we're at now, and we're now going into the second Olympics. Kristin, how do you see the difference now? Do you notice a difference the way mixed doubles is being accepted or perceived?
After the last Olympics, I think we showcased mixed doubles pretty well, and now there are 10 teams instead of 8, and I think a lot of the teams now are more specialized in mixed doubles. So the level is definitely higher than it was in 2018, and it will be a really tough competition for sure.
And Kaitlyn, in Canada, obviously, you touched on this at the start, that mixed doubles maybe hasn't had such a high status, and it was quite, there's a lot of skeptics. How are you finding it now?
I think it's hard because there still isn't a lot of television coverage for mixed doubles. So I would say right now there's a lot of great mixed doubles fans every 4 years still. This year, was a unique year with the pandemic. We were fortunate to have our national championship televised, and then the World Championships, there was some coverage as well. So that, I think, really helped leading into this Olympic year. I'm hopeful that in the future there will be a little bit more coverage of the mixed doubles in Canada, so that there's fans every year, not just every 4 years. But because of the deep tradition of curling in our country, I think we are heading in the right direction of having people have more of an open mind, and a lot of curling clubs are seeing the benefit of having mixed doubles leagues and getting new players. So there definitely is growth. I wouldn't say we're where I would like it to be yet, but I'm hoping that in the next couple of years we'll see that it's the most popular game in Canada.
And you're obviously still playing with Jennifer, and you're working towards the Olympics. What's your plan for this trials coming up now? Because you played with was it your nephew at the last? Yeah.
So, I mean, it was an interesting experience for me. I played with my nephew I'm trying to think, the year before the pandemic, and we had qualified for our national championship, but then it got canceled because of COVID. And so once we found out that they were hosting the mixed doubles championship in the bubble for us, I wanted to give him that opportunity to get that national experience. And for me, at this point in my career, it was really special to play with him. We didn't have the success that we had hoped for, but it was a great learning opportunity, and it really brought out my love of the game again, and reminded me why I'm playing this sport, and that was more important than any win or loss to me. Going forward, our 4-person Olympic trials is in 3 months, which is crazy to me. Can't believe how fast it's coming up. So training full time for that right now. We have ice here in Manitoba, so I've been practicing since June and really motivated for that. And then, yeah, our mixed doubles trials will be shortly after our trials as well. So we'll see how that all unfolds, but it's going to be an exciting fall.
No doubt. Magnus and Kristin, have you guys qualified already, or is that process finished for the Norwegian curling?
Peter from the federation is here. I'm not sure if he agrees, but I think we're qualified as long as we are healthy when the time comes. That's what we heard. But the Norwegian Olympic Committee, they are picking, and their first pick is in December, I think. So officially no, but
unofficially yes. We'll take this after we stop the recording. We'll keep Petter on and we'll ask him. and Martin, what's the status in Switzerland?
Yeah, it's the same as in Norway. We are qualified, but it's not official yet. Swiss Olympic will make the call, I think, after the men's Olympic trials. So end of September, start of October, somewhere then it'll be official. But we're planning to go to Beijing.
Cool. That's a good plan. Now, I've got one more question I want to ask before we open up to to Petter, who's been moderating the questions coming in. And this is just a little technical question. Now, in 4-player curling, you're obviously releasing the stone and then you're just watching the line and maybe back skipping a little bit. But in mixed doubles, you're obviously jumping up quickly. Do you have like a plan? I noticed, Martin, you're very quick up. You're one of the quickest players. After you release the stone, you're almost halfway up while you're releasing the stone to getting in sweeping. You're almost sweeping while you're releasing the stone. But do you have like a point where you say, okay, I'm going to release the stone, I'm going to finish my release, and then I'm going to get up? Or how do you work it? We'll get to you at the end, Martin, because I know you're quick. Kristin, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm lucky enough to have my own sweeper, so I'm not the right person to answer that.
Okay, let's ask Magnus then.
Yes.
Yeah, well, as of today, it's just experience. I think it goes on autopilot. But I had, 2 years ago, I had like a hip impingement. So I really it really hurt in my hip every time I was releasing and going to step up. So I made a new technique for it. So now I'm like using my hand a little bit as well, really fast. I'm not doing any harm to the ice, I hope. But it shouldn't be part of your thoughts when you're in your pre-shot routine. I mean, when you're in the hack, you focus on throwing the stone, and then that swap from being a tosser to becoming a sweeper, that is one of the most fascinating parts of mixed doubles, I think, because you need to be quite, you need to have a lot of self-esteem to throw your rock loose enough to trust your own brushing abilities in that moment. Usually on a 4-player team, you have 2 guys standing next to you. You know, you can throw it a little soft. They will carry it 2 or 3 meters extra if needed. When you're doing that to yourself, it's that's hard. So that's one of the most important things to work on, I think, to know where the line goes of being too slow and not needing to brush at all. You want to be somewhere in the middle there. Hopefully more towards being too slow than not having to brush at all, I think.
Sure. Kaitlyn, have you ever felt stressed about having to get up and throw? Has that ever been in your mind, or?
No, I have such a, I don't know. My pre-shot routine and my shot routine is the same every single time. So I want to make sure I follow through. I can see the line when I've let it go, and then I get up. And so I feel like I'm athletic enough that I can get up pretty quickly, but still maintaining my follow through. And you know when you let it go, where, or you should know where it is or close to where it is. And then when you get up to finally sweep it, you have to forget how you threw it and judge it as though you're a sweeper. You can't try and have that bias of like, no, but I thought I threw it okay. You have to completely let that go and then judge it down the ice. So I think that takes practice, but it's I think it's still important to have your same follow through if you can, because then some things can start to happen with your release if you try and get up too soon. So trust your delivery, follow through, and then try and pop up as fast as you can afterwards, and then reassess what's happening with the shot, the speed, and the line.
And just to be clear, you don't have your own personal sweeper, right? Is that what
well, it depends. Like, originally John wanted to sweep everything for me, and then he got his shoulder was bugging him. So one game he wanted me to sweep absolutely everything. I swept all of mine, all of his, and he's like, "Oh, you're actually a really good sweeper, so you should probably sweep your own now." So, so if you watch kind of halfway through the Olympic Games, it switched. I was sweeping a lot more rocks, and I think I was very proud that he recognized that, you know, I can actually still sweep as well. That is my job on the team in the 4-person game, and I take pride in my sweeping. I know I'm a small person, but I work really hard at it. And so that was kind of nice that he acknowledged that, but maybe I don't want to sweep every rock. So there's that fine line.
That was 8 years of Johnny Moe trying to get back to the Olympics. He just got too enthusiastic and burnt himself out too early.
Totally, right? Yeah, that's right. He's 10 years older than me too, so you know it's a little hard on his body.
Hey, easy on the older guys. Easy on the older guys.
I'm just kidding.
And Martin, as I said at the start, you're one of the fastest guys up. How do you, or does it just go automatically for you?
It just feels natural. Everybody tells me that I'm pretty fast and standing up, but it feels like naturally. I just try to finish the shot, and probably I gotta be fast because I'm not the most decent thrower. So you gotta work on the sweeping. I don't know. When I was a teenager, we had no school on Wednesday afternoon, so we were always on the ice, and we played one-on-one against each other. So even back then, it was the same. You had to stand up and sweep your rocks, and we played a lot of games like this. So probably already from then, it's more or less, yeah, the same. Let's call it technique. For me, it just feels natural. I don't feel stressed or whatever.
I just remember one last real quick question before Petter comes in. When you practice mixed doubles, do you aim at a point, or when you're playing mixed doubles, do you aim at a point at the back? Do you pick out something on the bumper, or because obviously you're not thrown to the brush all the time? So what do you do when you're not thrown to the brush? Do you go
I
in the
do.
gym?
I visualize a spot on where I want to see the line, and whether it's a spot on the wall or the bumper, wherever I can kind of pick out a marking, maybe something on the tee line or another rock, then it's just nice to have a visual, even if it's not someone holding a broom.
Kristin and Magnus, the same for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, Martin?
In practice, yes, I point at somewhere on the ice or at the wall. During a mixed doubles game, I always have my personal skip. So
Perfect.
I think it's the same at the Norwegian team.
And while we're getting Petter to come on here with the questions, was that a deal breaker, Kristin, when you and Magnus got together before you got married? Was it like, I'll marry you if you become my personal sweeper? Was that like in the prenuptial agreement?
That was exactly how it was, or not. But like, he's a better sweeper than me, and he likes to sweep, so that makes our team better. So it's all about finding out how to be the best team.
That sounds good. Both at home and on the ice. Perfect. That was a good way to finish that. Good. Okay, P-Dog. Let's leave the Olympic the Olympic nominations. We'll leave that till afterwards. But let's get to the questions.
Okay. Yes. So we have a couple of questions. I just wanted to say one thing, that some of you might not see the chat, and if you want to ask a question and you can't see the chat, please send it on our Instagram DM for the NJCT Summer Camp 2021. Just let me know you want to ask a question. I'll say your name and you can go. Want to start with Liam from Switzerland? Could you put your microphone and camera on?
I've got a question for everybody. How does it feel to have an Olympic medal?
Okay, let's start.
Yeah,
exactly.
Who wants to go first?
Let's go this way. We'll go Kristin, Magnus, Martin, Kaitlyn.
How does it feel? Like I said before, it was a dream come true, and to have that Olympic medal, it's kind of a proof of how much work and hard effort you put into the sport you love. So yeah, it's cool to have an Olympic medal.
Yeah, for me it's like an inspiration. I'm kind of glad we got a bronze in that way, because that really got us to shift gears, I think, and we have started on something that I believe can grow even bigger now. So big inspiration to be in the Olympics, and to have a medal is really cool. I recommend it. So yeah.
For me, it just makes me proud. It's a sign for our journey we had, but let's say it's only the silver, so it's still a motivation to try to get the gold. So it's a little bit of both. Like you look at it, and it's nice to see your journey until now, but it's a motivation too for the future, for the next 6 months. And we try our best to beat those guys somehow.
And for me, to be honest, it's so surreal to be an Olympian. I mean, I grew up watching the Olympics, summer, winter, it didn't matter. And to have that opportunity to represent your country in your sport is the biggest honor. And so our team has kind of joked that we're so thankful they give you a medal, because then it makes it seem more real. The experience is just, there's nothing like it. And I grabbed my medals just to see this little reminder of the hardware, and I don't look at them often enough. I love sharing them, and during COVID I didn't have a chance to really share it with anyone, so it's surreal. The weight of them is is quite impressive, and yeah, it's very special. But I truly enjoy sharing the medals with as many people as possible, because when I was a kid, I didn't get to see them. I hadn't been around Olympians before, so I think it's neat in curling that curlers are so personable, and we're very open to sharing our experiences with everyone, and I hope that it can inspire someone to chase their dreams as well.
Have you all got your medals to hand? Have you all got your medals? I forgot to even ask you to bring your medals. That was ridiculous. So Kaitlyn, that was great. Have you all got your medals close by?
No.
Mine's good as Martin. Where's your medal? You should have it in your back pocket.
No, actually, I don't really know where it is right now. But for me, the medal, it's not that important. It's more about the experience we had. But it's not that I'm watching at it every day. I have some pictures on the phone, my background pictures, yes, but the medal, I gotta look for it if you want to see it.
Okay,
we'll see. Of minutes.
We'll maybe get time to see that later. I'll show you my background picture on my telephone. That's something very different. That's another story altogether. Right, next question.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks
for your question.
Thanks, Liam. Now Laura from Scotland, and if your question is for everybody, please let us know, and if it's for one specific, sorry, I just lost you. Yeah, so Laura from Scotland is the next one.
Hi, my question is for anyone who's had any struggles with like competing in both disciplines, and if what to prioritize, if any clashes between competitions or any training, like how you dealt with that.
I can answer from my perspective if you'd like. It's just important to figure out what your priorities are and what your teammates' goals are in both mixed doubles and four-person game, and try and figure out a schedule that works for both. I know that for our team, our four-person team, that has been our priority, and we've had to try and fit mixed doubles in around that. So it could mean playing a lot of competitions in a row, and so that finding that balance of making sure you do have some rest and recovery time in between. But for me, I love to play, so the more opportunity I get to play either discipline, the better for me. But yeah, just trying to figure out what your goals are and what your teammates' goals are, and then trying to create a schedule based off that.
And I can add, maybe when you plan your season, if you have two teams, bring those two teams together and be just totally honest about what your goals are in different teams, so that there will be no misunderstanding during the season. I have some experience with that, and that's not fun when that happens. So.
Okay, so Martin or Kristin, do you have anything to say, or should we go on?
I only have a fun, like a traditional curling fun team, so the priorities are so clear. It's the same. Just be honest to everybody, and for me, mixed doubles is number one. They know it, and fun goes around the serious part, and yeah. I think just to be honest, make a clear plan for the whole season, and it helps you a lot.
Oh, it's hard to do both 100%. So that's nearly impossible, because a lot of tournaments are on the same weekends. So I think, or of course you can do both, but for me, I had to prioritize one of the disciplines in the end. So, but of course, it's good to do both, because it will when you play mixed doubles, that will improve your four-player game, and the other way around. So if you have the opportunity to do both, you should do. But I think in the end, if there are some events on the same weekends, you have to prioritize if you do the mixed doubles tournament or the four-player tournament.
Good. Thank you, Laura, for a question. Grace from Nova Scotia, Canada, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I hope everyone can hear me. I've been having some connection issues today. I don't really know what's going on. My question was to everyone, what are everyone's favorite drills for practicing strategy in mixed doubles?
Okay, I can go first. When we practice a lot, or we play a game against the perfect team. So then we get into a lot of situations that we might meet in a real game. So we play against the perfect team. So either ourselves or our coach will put the opponent's stone in the perfect spot. Or, yeah, well, the spot where it, then we have to make a choice. Like, what will you do now if the situation is like this? And then, yeah.
And then also we watch a lot of games and maybe stop the recording and speak to each other what you do in that situation. And we're often arguing a little bit in the couch watching those games, but it gives us a lot, I think, to just go through situations where good teams have been playing against each other and discuss. But for drills and strategy other than that, maybe the other guys have something to add?
We just try to have different plans for an end with the same goal, and just try out which of the plans probably works best for your team. That might be again against the perfect or nearly perfect team. Then you probably find out how to give the other team harder shots to make too. And analyzing some games is fun too. Even if you watch your games after a certain time, it's really funny. Sometimes you wouldn't play the same again, or a lot of times you wouldn't play the same again, at least us. And it's funny to have those discussions.
And I'd be very similar. Just trying to play as many scenarios as possible when working on strategy. At the end of the day, no matter how great your strategy is, it all comes down to execution. So trying to pick the best shots based on your skill set and understanding what your strengths and weaknesses are, I think that creates the best strategy no matter what. And so just trying to work on your technique, and then playing against yourself or playing against another team or the perfect team, like Norwegian's team said. So it's just, lots of different options when it comes to strategy. And I agree, watching lots of game tape is very helpful as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Grace. Sam from the other side of the world, from Canada at least, New Zealand. Are you ready?
Hi, so I just wanted to know from all four of you, when you're playing a mixed doubles game, is there one person on the team who does most of the strategy thinking, or is it all really 50-50 between the two players?
I can go. On my mixed doubles teams I've played on, the majority of the strategy has been the end decision is being put on whoever's throwing the rock, whatever the shot they're most comfortable with. But sometimes there's only one option. So just understanding the scoreboard and who has the last rock really helps. And then usually it's the first few rocks that are pretty straightforward. Usually you're trying to just draw one in there and set something up. And so just trying to keep pace. But if there is a difficult decision, if there's one or two different options, then it usually are whoever's throwing that shot decides.
Yeah, on our team, Kristin tossed stone number 1 and stone number 5. So Kristin is in charge of shot number 1 and my first shot number 2. So that I don't need to be down in the house for a very usual situation that comes up very often. And then on my 2 last shots, I will stay in the house and be in charge of my 2 shots. And then on the very last stone for Kristin, she'll be in charge. But I will discuss with her.
I'd say for us, it's more or less the same as in the Norwegian team. First 2 shots, it's more Jenny leading because it's most of the time it's all the same. And then the last three shots are both of us discussing, and of course the thrower in the end has to make it and take the responsibility.
Oh, awesome, thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Good question.
What time is it with you, Sam? I've got a question for you. Are you up in the middle of the night? You should be in your bed.
Yeah, it's 3 a.m. at the moment, but it's all good because I've got work after this finishes anyway, so it's getting me ready for work.
Oh my gosh.
What do you work with?
We've got a luge track here, an outdoor luge track, and I'm the ice guy there, so I'll be making ice.
Wow, good man.
And all that, yeah.
That's so cool.
Okay, well, don't slip and hurt yourself.
Yeah, I'll try.
Thanks, Sam.
Good effort. So Victoria from Scotland, you're on.
I have a question for all of you. How did you know that you wanted to take your hobby and make it into a career or take it further than just having it as a hobby?
Martin, you're first.
First, you start with the dream, and then you start to practice for fun. At least in my case, and then you come to a point you see that with just doing it as a hobby, you won't reach your goals. Then you got to make a decision, and I think we lose a lot of curlers there. At this point, the decision whether to like really focus on working on a professional career or a curling career, and that's a hard decision, not so easy. In my case, it's kind of like a 50-50. I've always been working, but yeah, you got to make this decision. I think you got to make this decision if you want to be at the Olympic stage. Because curling is getting more and more professional. So it's sorry for you guys, it's getting harder and harder in the future.
Yeah, I support what Martin said. Usually, or for many, I guess, it starts with a goal very early. You have someone you look up to and you want to go to the big stage. And once you set that goal, there is only one way to reach it, probably, if you want to succeed. That is to put in all the hours necessary. I don't know for you guys, but that's probably many hundred hours a year for a lot of years. So you don't really have a choice. If your goal is to be very good, then you have to put in the hours.
And for me, I played a lot of sports growing up, and I didn't really have the idea that I wanted to make this a profession or my job until later on. I wanted to always just play as many sports as possible, and so all through high school I was doing that, and started to see more success in curling and the other sports that I was playing. And a lot of the other sports I did for fun. It was recreational, and it just helped me, I guess, find my passion, which ended up being curling. It was something that I always wanted to keep trying to see how I could improve. And my love of the sport just kept growing. I had such a great group of friends that I was playing with. And eventually, once I was done juniors, I kind of just was at the right place at the right time and had an opportunity to join a couple of the top women's teams in Canada. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, like here's this opportunity to start making these great goals and when we lost out of trying to get to the Olympics in Vancouver in 2010, that losing really helped me realize that this is something that I wanted to do. And I really took that time to figure out that this is what I wanted to do, and okay, how am I going to do this and set these goals for myself? So I wouldn't say it was until I was out of juniors that I realized I had this Olympic dream.
For me, I played, or curling was my hobby for a long time, or I played juniors and I played with my ladies team, and we had set some high goals, but we never, or some of the team members didn't put in the hours that were needed to reach these goals. So when I teamed up with Magnus, I really saw the potential that this could work out really well, and we could reach the high stage of curling. And then I kind of decided that this is what I want to do a couple of years from now, or I really want to go for my dream and try to become an Olympian.
Thank you.
All right, P Daddy, I think we have time for a couple more questions and then we need to round off for today.
Sure, you're the boss. So we have siblings, I believe, from Denmark, Alexander and Gabriella. Are you ready?
Welcome. Yeah, hi. So this question is also for anyone who wants to answer, or for everyone. So we were wondering, do you have any experience about switching positions in between the ends? If you have, how did you feel it worked out for you?
Well, me and Kristin, we used to do that in the beginning of our mixed doubles career. We played our first Worlds in Fredericton, 2013, I think. And we swapped for every end we played. And the advantage of that today is that we have a very good understanding of what each position is and how to perform in that position. But after a while, we saw that specializing was a more benefit for the precision and for the results. So we still do it sometimes when we are really doing bad. When something have to change, then we do it. When we are many points down and just need to turn around and start over to get something else to think about.
We tried it a couple of times in some practices, and we were forced to do it also by a coach during an event, a tour event. And to be honest, on our case, it's not a good idea. No, I don't know, it just didn't work. We were forced to start some games with me throwing 1 and 5, and then after 4 ends we were down I don't know how much, and in the end we managed somehow to win games. So there are some scenarios we would swap, but not a lot.
You go, Kaitlyn.
I personally don't have much experience with switching back and forth. We've talked about it in the past. If someone isn't feeling their draw weight or feeling comfortable throwing the last shot, or just like the guys said, if you need to change things up, then we would do it. But haven't really tried it out too much, mainly just because we want to try and focus on our positions that we've chosen. And I know there are some teams that do switch, and I think it is an advantage for them if it works for them. But it's whatever you're comfortable with at the end of the day. I think the person who is throwing the middle 3, it's really important for them to have those shots dialed in. So I find if that person's really feeling well, then keep them in that position, because it makes the person who's throwing first and last job a lot easier.
Great question, you guys. Now, Martin, just before we get to the final question, I've been thinking about this medal thing. I'd really like you all to, if it's possible, if we all had your medals, to lift them up and have it so we could get all the medals in. That would be cool. That would be like the podium. So before the last question, you have to run away and find your medal. It's in the sock drawer. Matt Hamilton said it's in the sock drawer. Told us that. Right. Last question. Oh, everyone's run away now. That's good. That means that Kaitlyn gets to answer the last question.
James, you're a teacher. You know not to ask the questions like that. You know they'll run away. Okay, so Sawyer and Andrew from United States, you're up, so you can get ready and then ask your question. Thank you.
For all of you, what other sports did you play growing up?
I just barely got that question. Was it what sports did you do when you grew up?
Yes.
All right, I can start. Started off with soccer. I played that from I was 5. Then I started with tennis when I was 7. I did those 2 for some years. And then I did alpine skiing from 11 to 18. I started to curl when I was approximately 17, I think.
That's cool.
That's me.
I played a variety of sports, so I tried as much as possible. I played a little bit of soccer, badminton, gymnastics, figure skating, golf, some track and field. I played volleyball and beach volleyball all through high school. Trying to think what else. Pretty much anything that was offered to us in school, I played. But I would say my passions were gymnastics and volleyball for quite a few years. I did start curling when I was 4, and so it's just something that I always did along with everything else.
That's also cool.
Martin, I don't know if you heard the question, but what sports did you do growing up?
Actually, I tried everything I could, but I stuck to football, the real football where you touch the ball with your foot. For the North Americans, I played for, I don't know, 25 years. And tennis, I was in a club too, but like it was always for fun. And hiking here in the Alps, and well, whatever my friends wanted to try, I was in. Basketball. One of my friends plays golf. I'm really not good at it, but just I really like to try whatever I can. Still now, if there's a new sport I don't know, I want to try it.
That's perfect. Listen, great questions, everyone. And now we're going to do this historical moment where we get you all on the podium at the same time. So get your medals up and get a big smile on them. We're going to get a picture of this. Let's see if I can work the screenshot. Oh, I didn't. Hold on. Right, get your medals up. Magnus, have you got yours? Where's your medal, Magnus? Oh, there it is. Okay, right, hold on. Everyone smile now. You have to stick with me here. I've got to get the screenshot. Here it is. That's the money shot right there. That's a beauty. Now you're on the podium.
You'll have to send that to us so we can post it.
I'll definitely send that.
Official podium shot.
I'll definitely get that sent to you guys. That's amazing. Thank you, everyone, for all the questions. Great questions. And well done, you, for it. It felt like you like from the start of the chat today to now, you've become a team. You've done very well, actually. I'm like a mixed team where you figured it out and you got the communication going, and it was all great. But seriously, thank you, everyone, for taking your time. It means the world, as you know, to junior curlers and even to the coaches that are here to hear from you guys at the top of your sport. And it means the world to me that you're here doing this too, and I appreciate that. So thank you very much, and great session, everyone. Good job. Oh, Magnus, you're nailing the clap in there. And you're more than welcome to stick around for the next few minutes, because we've got Robin Bryden, who's from Team White. He's going to present tomorrow's physical session. We've got League of Legends today is Al Hackner, the Iceman. He's got a little message for the campers. And we've got the Adam Lund. He's the son of Eva Lund, two-time Olympic champion. He is the Swedish master chef, and he's done some NJCT nutrition videos for us. And finally, we're going to finish off with Jake the Hare, Hannah, with the social media challenges. So if you want to stick around, please stick around. Otherwise, take care of yourselves and good luck for the season coming up.
Thank you. Just want to say thanks for having us. It was a lot of fun, and best of luck for the rest of the camp. I think it's amazing that you have so many participants, and hopefully everyone learns a lot. I know they will, based on all those speakers you're going to be having, and yeah, follow your dreams. Best of luck to everyone.
Thanks, Kaitlyn.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Take
Bye,
care,
James.
guys. Take care, guys. Excellent. Wow, what a session. What a day. What a day. We've got, like, 6 Olympians joining us, 2 doing CrossFit, 4 doing the chat. I mean, how good's that, P-Dog? That's not bad, eh? Unbelievable. Now, where are we at? Let's see. Robin Bryden, are you around, Robin? Are you here? Are you back? Are you with us?
I am here. I am.
There he is. There he is.
I was listening along.
Good man.
Well, I don't know how I followed that, to be honest. And you put me on a hellish day to be on this. You're following Sarah and Sophia, following Olympic medalists, and after me you've got Al Hackner. I don't know how I live up to all this.
That's it. You're up with them there. There you go. Just rise yourself up. A bit of pointers there, son. You'll be fine.
I'll sit up. I'll just move my chair up, and that'll make me look a bit better.
That's it. There you go.
There you go.
Right. So what's on the agenda for tomorrow, Robin?
Well, so what I've got planned for you is a strength session. Obviously, with a strength session, I'd love to make it individual and specific to you all, but you're all at different levels, different ages, different sizes and abilities. So it's a very generic session. James, I believe, is going to put the link to the video that I've done in the chat, or we can send out on Instagram and stuff after this. It's 10 exercises. You don't need very minimal equipment. The equipment that you do need is, hopefully that you all have, is a curling brush, which I'd imagine, seeing as you're all in this, this camp, that you have a curling brush available to you. A couple of rucksacks, so bags, that you can put on your back, and preferably in those rucksacks, loaded with some whatever weight you can find, whether it be books, etc., would be great. So this is kind of basically when we were where COVID was full on and we all had to isolate here in Scotland. This is the sort of stuff that we kind of makeshift kind of barbell. So it's kind of what we're going to make is a makeshift barbell with the curling brush and the 2 bags, and just try and find any sort of resistance stuff that we can to try and get some sort of training in. So the video kind of make that a bit more obvious. So you have 10 exercises, which are overhead squat, squat jumps, split squat, lateral lunge, a seated shoulder press, a push-up, tricep dips, prone hold, a 60-degree hold, and Russian twists. So it should be a pretty tough session. There is 3 levels. There's a level 1, level 2, and level 3. So please pick the one that's best suited for what you feel you're at. In the video, which is on YouTube, in the description has the actual workouts and each level in them. So whether it's the sets and the reps for each one. Does everybody know what I mean by sets and reps? So if it was 4 times 10, so that would be 4 lots of 10 reps. So 10 repetitions of that exercise. Taking a couple of minutes in between each set. Hope I'm explaining this quite well. James, am I explaining this quite well?
You're doing great, Robin. Keep going.
Perfect,
You're doing fine.
Thanks. Good. What kind of just looking for? Obviously, I'd love to be able to help you with your form and stuff like that, but I can't look through God knows how many videos and help you out with that. So please take your time. We're looking for as much control on each exercise as possible. So don't rush them. The more control you have in using the muscles and the exercises, the more you'll get out of it. I know the last thing you're thinking of right now after that, a CrossFit session with Sarah and Sophia is another lot of exercises, but it's worthwhile and it hopefully help you in the long run. Don't know if there's any questions. I'm pretty sure I've covered it all there.
Well, let's do it like this. If you have any questions, pop them on the Instagram summer camp group, And for those of you who haven't got on there yet, it's the NJCT Summer Camp 2021 on Instagram. Get on that page and pop your questions there. And then
if you do have any questions, you can email me as well. If you want to put my email out there.
And for those of you that are on the chat, I put the Robin session there. I'll be posting it on Teams, and I'll send it out on your emails later on as well, so you'll get it one way or the other. Excellent, Robin. So really important for them to focus on technique. That's a big thing for tomorrow.
Yes, it's more technique rather than load. Obviously, once you have a technique, you can load it up. But I don't want any injuries. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news when people are starting to get injured. So really focus on technique and nice and much and controlled in each exercise. And get creative as well. You don't just have to be using the equipment I've told you here. You might think of something else to be able to do an exercise for some resistance. So by all means, get creative. And if you do get creative, get a video of it, get a picture of it, and post it.
I think important as well, after you said with the CrossFit session, if there's anyone that's feeling really sore that you can't do it, then don't push it too far that you get an injury. That's, I think, is an important thing. If you can do it, great. If you can't, maybe do it at a later date. That's important because you want to do it with right technique and not rush through it. Cool. I think that's legally safe on that one now.
Well, I was just to get my disclaimer out there, so nothing came back on me.
Yeah. Excellent, Robin. Super. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, I'm away to go do some coaching, so enjoy the rest of the call.
Good luck. Good luck.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, Robin. Thank
See
you.
you later.
Now, before we go on to the League of Legends for today, just a quick reminder, tomorrow we have Olympic champion Anna Hasselborg coming on. She's going to talk to us about a little bit what we touched on today, talking about communication within the team and how important it is that everyone on the team understands tactics. Not necessarily everyone on the team needs to be in on the tactics, but everyone has to understand. That's really important. That's going to be one of the main topics for tomorrow. Also, we have a special guest. An extremely special guest, and I'll leave it at that. It's a surprise guest. How about that? All right, and that's at where are we at tomorrow? That's at 4 o'clock Stockholm time tomorrow. And really important reminder, if there's any parents and coaches out there, and please ask all your parents and your coaches, if they want to be on the coach parent session tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock Stockholm time, 7 till 8, please send me an email to nordicjuniorcurling@gmail.com. And we have a great session talking about coaching styles. We have a great session talking about the role of being a parent, how you can support your child or your young athletes you're in charge of. So it's going to be a fantastic session tomorrow night. So send me an email about that if you haven't already done so. Excellent. Now let's see. Now I think we're on to League of Legends. Let's do it. League of Legends for today. Let's see if I can get this in a winner today. Now, Al Hackner, in case of you that don't know, Al Hackner, they called him the Iceman because he was always so very cool. He never showed much emotion on the ice. And he was a two-time world champion and one of the most famous shots in curling. Nowadays, you see all these spectacular shots. But back in the day, in the 80s, when Al Hackner was big, you didn't see these spectacular shots that often. But Al Hackner made a shot that they called the Hackner shot. And I'll be putting that on I'll send you the link to that video later. The final stone of the 1985 Brier final. Al Hackner makes a thin angled double to go to an extra end, ended up stealing the extra end. If you haven't seen it before, go and watch it. The whole video is like 4.5 hours long, but just skip to the last sort of half hour of the game and watch that. It's very cool. Anyway, here's Al Hackner. He was a legend of mine, a real hero of mine, and I got in contact with him and got him to send this message to you all. So hopefully you can hear this okay. Can everyone turn their mics off? Excellent. Here we go. Here's Al Hackner.
And the other thing that was always been a long-going thing with me is perception.
Sorry, I'm going to start that again because it started off a wee bit halfway through the video. Here we go.
And the other thing that was always been a long-going thing with me is perception. There's one spot in the ice.
Sorry, I'm going to pause one more time. Someone that's got their microphone and video on, can you please turn that off? There we go. Excellent. Right, so for the third time lucky for Al Hackner, let's have a look here at Al. Here we go.
And the other thing that was always been a long-going thing with me is perception. There's one spot in the ice. I perceived myself to be hitting that broom, but I wasn't. In my mind, I've nailed that broom, but I wasn't. So I'd get someone to hold the broom for me, and I'd throw. And my first couple throws, I would think I'm online, and they say, no, you're way inside. So then I would try and aim at his leg, the wide leg, and I would throw right at his wide leg, still narrow. So it took me quite a few throws to get that spot so that I'm hitting the broom and my perception matches it. So there's quite a bit difference between places in the ice, because if I put that same broom down on, say, edge 4, I had no problem, but go out to the edge of the 12-foot, I just wasn't seeing it. So always check those 3 things when you're having a bit of a slow stretch where you're just not playing well, because those things are, quite frankly, are easily fixed. So good luck to you.
I think part of that video actually has gone missing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to check that out and go into the Facebook and figure it out. I'm going to repost that for you, because he had 3 things to talk about. The last point that came up there, perception, that quite often you think you're doing the right thing, but it's actually not the right thing. And it's really important there to get someone that you trust to hold that broom. Because if you don't trust them, and if you're not going to listen and be coachable and take in what they're saying, then it's a waste of time. So really important in perception and getting someone you trust. I'm going to find the other 2 things from Al, and I'll get those posted to you on the Instagram page, or I'll get them to you. So don't worry about that. Now, 2 things to go. Adam Lund, he's doing the NJCT nutrition. I'm going to put the link up here on in the chat, and that should be coming up. No, where is it? There it is. There it is. There's the link. And that's to the smoothie that Adam's done for us. So in your smoothie, you can do it in a lot of different ways. So that's the chat there. And finally, the last thing today, we're going 3 minutes over, so we need to get this done. Jacob, the hair Hannah, he's in another part of the world right now. So Jake, if you can
Hello.
He's actually, hold on, I'm going to spin this around. He's up there. He's up there in the office. Where is he? He's up. There he is. Jacob's up in the office. Excellent.
We're trying to get some separation for the sake of the audio here.
Okay, Jake, what's happening on who? So let's get to the winners.
Yes, of course. So thanks again, you guys, for all of your submissions. Before I get to the winners, I just want to stress, please, if it's possible for you guys, send all of your entries to the Instagram DMs. I've heard that some of you guys have had some troubles with them and that you're sending them from different platforms, and that makes it a bit more difficult for us to view all of them and make sure that you're in the competition. So please try to send all of your entries to Instagram. And the main issue with Instagram is that it only allows for videos to be 1 minute. If they exceed that time limit, you will not be able to post them in the chat there. So please keep them at 1 minute, and we'll also make some alterations to the times for the competitions going forward so that we make sure that they are 1 minute or less. That being said, let's get to the winners of yesterday's competition. So the up and down balance to broom competition. So we have 2 lucky winners, first of which will be receiving these fabulous glasses, courtesy of Spectrum Eyewear. Ooh, ah. Super cool. And the lucky winner for those is, let me see if, I apologize if I butcher this name, Matthäus Hofer from Austria. So congratulations, well done to you. Incredibly impressed by your speed. Well done. Congratulations. And the second winner we have for yesterday's challenge is Liam Dryber from Switzerland. So well done. Congratulations.
My wee nephew. Well done, little man. Good job there. Well done to both of you. Excellent.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome there. Fantastic job. And both of you, I was watching those up and downs. I think I was getting my sore legs just watching them.
I could only do 7, and that was with tipping the broom in between. So I am very impressed and also very jealous because I can do that. So
right.
Very well done. And
moving on to tomorrow.
Yes, moving forward to tomorrow's challenge where we have the same prizes up for grabs. So what we want you guys to do, hopefully you'll be getting some inspiration from Eva Lundson here. We want you guys to create your best NJCT smoothie recipe, and you have 50 seconds to show us in a video of you making your smoothie and what you put in your smoothie. So please send in your submissions to the Instagram DMs and do so by 12 a.m. Stockholm time tomorrow.
You're going to have to be quite creative then to get all that in 50 seconds.
Yes. So
good. And we like
challenge
creative.
you, think out of the box. Yes.
Exactly. Think out of the box or in the box. Anjan, another pair of Anjan, which means that
outside of the box, perhaps you will get the box.
Oh, very good. Well done. I like what you did with that. I like what you did with that.
I did there.
Excellent. Super, Jacob. And thank you again for taking care of our social media. You're doing a fantastic job.
Of course.
Fabulous, young man. Fabulous.
To.
Great. Thank you. So that's us wrapping up for today. Another amazing day at the digital camp. I hope you've had a good day. I hope you're all getting tired because it's a lot of information to take in. And we even forgot to do a 7th inning stretch. I'll remember to do that tomorrow, but we can all go out and have a 7th inning stretch now. Great, get your smoothies on. Let's get the smoothies done now. All right, good session, everyone. Keep your eye on the Instagram, stuff coming up there. Keep your eye on the chat on Teams. And remember to get back to me about the parent and coach session. Okay, everyone, take care. Have a great evening. Enjoy. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye. And we stopped there. I think we stopped there. Press stop. There we go. Stop.